Hello CBSE 11. You have in your syllabus note making, which is related to comprehension passages in the book, that in the question paper that you get. So today I'll be discussing in this video how to deal with this question of note making. Now, as the word suggests, it's actually making notes. Now, this is a common practice when we are studying something, maybe a book of literature or maybe a book, any book of science or history or geography. We often hold a pencil in our hand, and while we are reading the text, or if the teacher is reading out to us, she or he tells us about some important, significant lines that are to be written there, and we underline and make notes. So here also the same procedure is followed. Now first and foremost thing, we read the comprehension passage very well. Now while reading it, if you are allowed to mark on the question paper, you can mark. Otherwise, if you cannot mark, just keep it in your mind that the important message conveyed by each paragraph. Now usually such comprehensions are not very short ones. Okay, usually you get at least 8 to 10 paragraphs in this comprehension. So sometimes it is seen that two paragraphs together convey a single message. Sometimes each individual paragraph has something different to say. So your work first is to find out the key message, mark it, key message of each paragraph. If you can relate two paragraphs together with a single message, that is also well, acceptable. So it all depends on the kind of passage you get. Alright. So you have to first find out what is the key message conveyed by each paragraph. After you understand this, then you can make a rough note first that you write about the key messages that you get. Now, then you explore how you analyze further. Take each paragraph again and you see how each of these messages are conveyed. Now, of course, the writer has made use of certain words, certain expressions, certain ideas, which you have to write in point form. So, the first idea, if you mark it as Roman 1, you write the idea conveyed. For example, let us take a very simple example that the passage is on discipline or self-discipline. So, the first idea would be the main idea conveyed in the message in the entire passage would be regarding discipline or self-discipline. So, the first idea that you write there over there is self-discipline. And remember, why note making? Never use a complete sentence. I repeat, never use a complete sentence while writing the points. You have to just write them in phrases and in clauses. Okay, now not full sentences, please. Mark it well. So it's the first heading that you give, that is about the passage, that is discipline or self-discipline. Then you make subheading. Your subheading can be made by using alphabet or using numerics. Okay, both Roman and the Indian numerics. So you write A, capital A under it. Under first you write Roman one, then under it capital A. You can also make use of subheading by using small a. Okay, so capital A you write over there, mm, definition of self-definition, the point. Then under it either small one or numeric one or simple 1, 2, 3, 4, you give sub notes. So first the title, then the subheading, then the sub-subheading. Remember, don't make it clumsy. Restrict it to 2 to 3 points for each paragraph or combining two paragraphs together. Alright. So you proceed your reading. In the subheadings, you can write important expressions, points over there. Another important thing is use of abbreviation. In note making, we always write contracted forms. Alright. For example, the word example, you can write EG over there. Uh, Department. Suppose the word department you want to write in your points. You can write it as DEPTT. Okay. So like this, you can use at least 5 to 6, 7, 8 abbreviations in your entire note making process. When you are using abbreviation, you have to also prepare a key. Just in geography, we use it often while map pointing and all. We make key, so colors and everything. So here we are making a key for in a box. For example, EG means example, DEP, TT means department. Like this, you give the key over there. So that is very important. You have marks for it. Okay. So in this way, you covered the entire passage. Once again, I say don't write long sentences, elaborate descriptions. No, your note making should be very precise and by using fonts. Alright, once this is done, then you switch over to a general analysis of the entire passage. Why so? Because you are required to make a summary of your note. I repeat, you have to make a summary of your note. So, summary of the note should cover all the points that you have mentioned in your note making. And this again is the second part of note making where you're summarizing whatever you have written. So usually it is written in 7 to 8 lines, not more than that. Don't write a very elaborate passage, and you are precisely right. This here you have to write in sentences, continued sentences. All right, it's a paragraph kind of a thing where you are summarizing whatever you have said in your note. You make choice of words, good choice of words. Do not use words directly used in the passage in the summary. Okay, use your own words. For that, you have to have thorough knowledge of synonyms and better words and expressions. One word used for many. All this comes into play, implementation over here. As you have found already that in class 11 and 12, it's more of application of what you have learned in the previous classes. So application of grammar in your writing skills. So that you have to remember. So in this way, the summary should be compact and very briefly written, but covering all the points of the note. Now this is a new thing that you learn in class 11 and this has a practical value as well. CBSE board is really concerned about the practical utility of whatever they are teaching to the students. So this note making has a practical utility in life. Further in your higher studies, this process of note making will be really very helpful for you. Okay, you learn how to make precise notes throughout. You also learn how to briefly summarize the actual text. Okay. In this way, I think this will be not only beneficial to fetch you good marks, but also it will be useful to you for your entire life. So please be careful whenever it is taught in your class or in any other supportive classes that you take, that you pick up this topic and you can really afford to get full marks in this portion. So, comprehend well, read the passage well, make notes, and thereafter make a compact summary. Bye for now.